If you have Rotowire.com's football preview, you'll be excited. You can be just like Adrian, home, drafting remotely, winning your draft, thanking Jeff later for all the money you've won and all the titles and the trophies and whatever else you get. That's what it's all about. And Jeff joins us here as he does each and every week on the program. I'm excited to have you back, and I'm excited for that Rotowire football preview magazine because I know how good it is and how fans right now just can't wait to add it to their collection before the draft starts.
Yeah. And hey, stay on top of the news after. Make sure to use the website because things are changing rapidly for us here. But yeah, we think we've put out a pretty good product once again. We love doing the mag. I know a lot of people are old school. They like having that in their hands, taking it, make sure though you don't use that as a set of your rankings only. I mean, things do change a lot, including our opinions, and facts on the ground have changed too. You don't want to be that guy taking Cam Akers. You definitely don't want to be that guy taking Carson Wentz.
You know what I like? I like keeping the magazine during the season because when somebody comes out of nowhere, I always like to read up a little bit on him going into the season and figuring out where was he originally projected and how did he come to this point in time? Or better yet, how players perform based on their preseason values, after 8 or 10 weeks, because that's also something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, me too. I really like seeing, like especially the baseball magazine. I do this all the time. And a guy gets called up, read his player profile, look at the stat line, see what we had to say about him. And every once in a while you get that, that aged badly, but there's other things like, yep, nailed it. It's pretty cool.
How close are we to the printer right now in terms of getting it back and getting it on newsstands?
Oh, it's on newsstands now.
Good.
And your copy will be coming soon. We're going to be sending it out to partners and friends pretty soon. So look for that in a mailbox nearby soon.
We should always be last because the truth is you want it to get where it needs to get first. And that's to all the bookstores and all the places that are going to go. Now, do you have them in supermarkets or are we just talking about bookstores right now? Where are they?
That's the thing is it's a nebulous world, the magazine distribution business. We don't completely control it. It's like outletter to it's subletter to an outlet, things like that. But, newsstands, magazines, Walmarts, you name it, we've seen it in a lot of different places. You can't find it. Go to rotowire.com/magazine. I'd caution to do that pretty quickly though. They sell it pretty fast. We do have a PDF version if the actual physical copy does sell out though.
What was the first year you released it?
Probably 2002, 2001, something like that.
So this could be maybe even sooner,
maybe 2000.
This could be
something like that.
You don't keep track of all that stuff, do you?
I have a little shelf of magazines down below. I think I have all of them. I'll have to do that. I'll look at the break and I'll tell you what the oldest one I have is.
And tell me who's on the cover. Matter of fact, since you've got the cam on, we can actually see the issue, the very first one.
I'll bring it out. At the break, I'll dig that up.
That's awesome. By the way, was Rotowire your baby from the very beginning? Was this something that you created?
Yeah, I was one of 3 guys that started the company. It's called Roto News back in the time, 1997. January 97 is when Peter Schenke, myself, and Herb Ilk started it. Pete was the business guy, the president of the company. He's the one with the idea, the actual germination of an idea. I was kind of in charge of content. Herb built the actual website. All 3 of us are partners today. We added on my radio co-host, Chris Liss, and our finance guy, Tim Schuler. They're also, principals in the company. We have about 35 full-time employees, about 150 writers now.
That's phenomenal. You got to be thrilled. Yeah. We talk every week. We never really talk about how this company formed and how it's developed, but it's pretty wild to think that what 3 guys were able to do with each with a specialized job has turned into this company now.
Yeah, and that we've kind of remained in similar roles, although things have expanded. I wasn't a media guy when we started this at all. I was a poli-sci major, had just passed the bar. Actually, I was studying for the bar exam and just took the bar exam while we were launching the website. We're doing that on the side, but a year and a half later, we're doing it full time.
You gave up a law career for this. That's
willingly. I was like, here, take it. There's enough attorneys out there.
That's exactly. You passed the bar exam. Are you the only full-time staff member on rotowire.com that actually passed the bar?
No, in fact, Chris Liss is also a recovering attorney. We got out clean on the other side. We passed the life test in addition to the bar exam.
Nice.
The thing is, it's a great profession if you find your niche. I never found it. And, but for the grace of God, I'm super lucky that I get to do what I love. I get to write and talk about sports for a living.
Yeah, your niche is projecting teams and doing radio hits all over the country and hosting podcasts and taking trips to Vegas. Tough life.
Yeah, it's a hard knock life.
I hear you. Let's talk about fantasy football right now. With training camps about a week old, what are the big storylines that you're monitoring early on as we get to these drafts and start to see first game tomorrow night, Cowboys Steelers
Yeah.
Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, I'll be honest. You're not going to get much from that game. Starters at most are going to play one series probably. I'd love to see Najee Harris, see how he looks, but I don't know if he'll play. I'm certain we're not going to be seeing Dak tomorrow. He's barely even throwing yet with that shoulder, and they already said that he's not going to play. So I want to see if maybe the Cowboys offensive linemen are healthy, if the Steelers revamped offensive line looks okay, but chances are we won't see that. And it's going to be super vanilla too.
Do we get to see the Nooch tomorrow?
Almost certainly.
DiNucci. I'm excited. Cowboy fans love him. So that's all.
Yeah,
we're going to see a lot of DiNucci. That'll be good. I will say this, a lot of talk about Packers camp with Aaron Rodgers here. And he was even candid enough to do do a press conference and talk about how they're trying to repair the relationship with him and management.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that. And how deep the rift was. And this is pretty last hurrah. This is it's not a retirement tour, but it's a last time with the Packers tour. That's the weird part about it. It's not like it's not like Derek Jeter where he's going to get a rocking chair everywhere he goes on his last game, because it's not his last game. And rarely do you get that in the NFL. I mean, it's usually it's an unceremonious, you're done sort of thing.
If he wins a Super Bowl, can you really see the Packers getting rid of him after this year, given the circumstances?
Yeah, because they have Jordan Love on a rookie contract, and they want to have some pride. The thing is, Aaron Rodgers needed a backup plan. The thing is, before last season, he had been hurt a lot, and his performance was declining. Now, it might have been because he was hurt and not really directly related to anything performance related. As we've seen with Tom Brady, it's as long as you're healthy, you can do a lot if you really know the game. So I could see a scenario there where they changed their mind, but they kind of made a promise to him, and it would come off really poorly. I think it would be a big problem if they try to do it, unless of course they give them the magic dollars, then everything is off the table.
I'm on the website right now. I see daily training camp notes.
Yep.
I see team previews as well, which are very important. I see job battles. I see ADP battles. There's a lot of content right now up on the website.
Yeah, we're trying to fill it in. Jimmy G and Trey Lance is on the head of the football page. Jim Coventry's cranking out all sorts of good stuff for us right now. Jerry Donabedian's doing a lot of work. He's leading a lot of our training camp notes. Every day, there's going to be big stuff happening. We're at that point now. And you're going to have to apply a filter. That's the one thing, a strainer, if you will. But hopefully, we'll get you that good information you can use.
How many of these stories I just mentioned are from the magazine, and how many of them are really kind of exclusive to the website?
Every team preview went in was in the magazine. There's some strategy articles in there. It's kind of half and half. Well, I would say like almost all the job battle articles are unique and fresh right now. And of course, we update things quite a bit, whether it's in the ADP battles as well. Jim Coventry's kind of covering as well. So you're going to get a lot of new evergreen content too.
Would you look at leagues in general right now for fantasy football? Is it safe to say that, PPR leagues are without a doubt the most popular form of fantasy football around today?
Yeah, they're growing. Absolutely. Every year it's becoming a little bit more of a majority. Half point PPR is the standard though at Yahoo, for instance. So there's still going to be a lot of that. Standard scoring, I feel like, is declining a little bit. I know we still do one of our old school leagues, the league that we draft in Vegas every year. That's still standard scoring. Peter Schenke, my aforementioned co-founder of the company, is still old school, hates PPR. So we play a few leagues like that too.
How come he hates PPR? Just never got into it, huh?
Yeah, just it's the type of player that gets rewarded too. That little dump off pass is kind of overvalued in a PPR league.
Continuing our conversation right now with Jeff Erickson from Rotowire.com. All right, Jeff, you've found the original magazines, and this is great because since we're doing this via Zoom, anybody that watches this interview later will get a chance to see the original covers for the first ever Rotowire preview mags.
That's right. And we started with baseball, so we'll go with that first. The Roto News Fantasy Baseball Guide. Notice Roto News still. Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson on the Diamondbacks on the cover. Ken Griffey Jr. on the Mariners. 2000, the 2000 guide. And then in the fall, we did football, or the summer, I should say, with Edgerrin James on the cover here. So there you go. 2000 was our first year. And by then, you'll notice also, at that point, we went from Roto News to Roto News Direct, because we got bought out in 99. The company that bought us out was called Broadband Sports, but they had Athlete Direct was their flagship company. So they rebranded us as Roto News Direct. And obviously it didn't take, because we're not that.
How long did that last, Jeff?
2001, February 2001. They died in the first internet bubble. We can blame it on the conditions or the way they run the company, or both, but at any rate, they're gone. And then we're back as our own now.
So you're telling me that in 2000, the first book was baseball, and that was Roto News. The second book was football. It was Roto News Direct. The third book, which would have been baseball in 2001, was that Rotowire?
That was Roto News Direct. We didn't because they went out of business 2000 and February 2001. The baseball mag is put to bed by then. Barely. I'm pretty sure we did. Now that fall, I don't know if we did a football magazine or not. I'll have to dig through the archives on that, because there's a lot of transition. But we didn't get the URL back, and so we had to switch over to Rotowire. Basically, it's long story short, that a deal couldn't get done.
Was Rotowire your baby?
It's the same people. It's all of our.
But I mean, did like one person come up with the idea and say, "Let's go from Roto News to Rotowire"? Was that one individual idea?
I forget who had the name, who came up with that name first. I think we spitballed a bunch of different names and settled on that.
Okay. Well, I mean, Roto Sports. You could have. There's a lot of things you guys could have done with Roto. So
yep.
I like Rotowire. It's set itself, 20 years in running now. It's good. By the way, baseball wise, so much good content on the website. I'm big on prospects, as you know. I love Bernie Pleskov's prospect analysis from all the trade deadline deals. I always like it when somebody breaks down the prospects at the deadline.
Yeah, Bernie's great. On the XM season, when we cover baseball, we have Bernie on it every Monday. I did a podcast with him recently. It's great to get a scout's perspective. It really is. And Bernie's awesome. He's very loquacious. A man of letters. He used to be a administrator at a college and kind of went backdoor into scouting after like a 20-year career at Loyola University of Chicago. So he, really smart guy. And it's fun to talk baseball with him.
I'm sure. So he's got the prospect story up. There's a lot going on. Speaking of prospects, Joe Adell was just called back up from AAA, 3 hits yesterday. Yep. Are you buying Adell this time around?
Yeah, and here's the thing. We saw a lot of prospects this year struggle upon their initial call. Kelnick, Brandon Marsh right now. You look at Duran in Boston struggling right now. Maybe it takes a little bit more exposure to pitching, especially given that players lost a year in development last year. And it's just, it's a big jump up to the major leagues, and it's especially a big jump if you missed a full year of hitting against AA and AAA pitching.
So he's a hot one right now, no doubt about it. Tell me a little bit about Rafael Ortega, because he had a crazy weekend with the Cubs. I don't know anything about Rafael Ortega.
Well, he's getting opportunity is king, right? I think this is what that illustrates. And, he's a guy that, wasn't a highly touted prospect. He's someone that he's 30 years old. He's not a young guy. He's a guy getting a chance. And I think that's really the lesson here. He's been on Colorado. He's been on the Angels. He's been on the Marlins, been on the Braves. This is his biggest opportunity so far. He had 201 plate appearances way back in 2016, actually made his major league debut in 2012, Steve. So you're talking about a guy who's been around for a while, but, he's played a lot of different places.
He was 21 when he made his debut. That's actually a very young age for a prospect.
Yep. Spent a lot of time in AAA, 2014 through 2000, really until now. He's your classic quad A player, but he's getting a chance now and doing a lot with it. I don't know if it lasts, but he's going to get that opportunity the rest of the season.
I want to ask you about a player on your favorite team, the Cincinnati Reds. And no, I'm not talking about the red hot Joey Votto. What about Kyle Farmer, who plays about 7 different positions?
Mostly shortstop these days, and playing a really, swung a hot bat in July. He played shortstop in college. Yet teams, when they asked to draft him, said, "Why don't you throw in the catching gear?" Very odd. And he did it because, hey, he wanted to get drafted, got drafted by the Dodgers, was upset about it all along. And finally, like, he kind of pushed for a chance to play shortstop when he got to the Reds. And, the Reds had the opening and they gave him a chance. They checked it out. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, we'll do this. He's better than Eugenio Suarez defensively. So, I mean, that's not exactly a high bar to clear, but, until their prospects are ready, and it's coming soon, by the way. They've got a kid in AAA who's someone you want to watch for. Used to be formerly named Jose Garcia, but he changed his name to honor his mom, who recently passed away. And I'm pulling, it doesn't roll off the tip of my brain. I have to pull up his actual full last name, but Jose Barrero is the kid who you're going to probably see maybe even in September. He made his debut last year, was really overmatched. But this year, he's got 1,000 OPS at AAA. He was great at AA before that. And his glove work's far superior to anybody else the Reds have.
Okay. He has some power, has some pop.
Yep.
Okay. Arms. Let's talk about pitchers right now. We'll begin with Luis Patino, who we knew a lot about in San Diego. Now he's starting to thrive a little bit for Tampa Bay in the rotation.
Yeah, he is. He's getting lengthened out. And the Rays, I mean, they just had Tyler Glasnow, have Tommy John. So the opportunity is there. They traded away Rich Hill in one of the oddest trades I've seen. They just traded away starting pitching depth, but apparently they like the prospect they got in return because they're going that route. But yeah, Patino, they got in the Blake Snell trade, and we've looked for him. We've known all along. You knew this, Steve. You operate in a town that's a affiliate of the Padres, so you know about these Padres prospects. You knew he has the juice.
And so far, we've been able to see that. That's for sure. Josiah Gray, another one, getting his shot in Washington. Tell me a little bit about Josiah, and then tell me about Reed Detmers from the Angels.
Okay, Gray is a guy that came over into the Dodgers from the Reds in the Yasiel Puig trade. Did not work out so well for the Reds. It did work out well. They got Jeter Downs in that deal too. And he might be the best prospect traded at the trade deadline. He's ready now. This is a question lengthening him out. Pitched really well against the Phillies the other day. He's got a really nice slider. Should strike out a lot of guys. Reed Detmers is the first guy from the 2020 draft class to get called up. Lots of strikeouts. I think he's overmatched. I don't think he should be up yet, but the Angels needed someone to jump in. They pushed back Ohtani, and they traded away Andrew Heaney. So there's an opportunity there. They just shut down Rendon for the season. So they're going to go younger the rest of the way.
Can Kyle Finnegan keep the closer job in Washington?
He was my closer priority on the waiver wire. There's a lot of guys to potentially add. I liked him best, although Floro is looking pretty good for the Marlins too.
Why do you like Finnegan so much?
He throws strikes. It's plain and simple. And at least, compared to the rest of the competition, that Nats bullpen, which Wander Suero has been really poor since that trade. Like, they had a doubleheader that day against the Phillies. Finnegan in game 1 got the job done. Suero in game 2 did not. They tried to give him another chance on Monday. It didn't happen. Finnegan's is the guy.
Just to recap, Rotowire's football magazine is available right now. It's out everywhere. You can look, bookstores, supermarkets. With the original 2000 magazine was just shown to us. Go find that on eBay and let me know how much that is, folks. We'll report on that to Jeff next week when we come back for the hit. And then what do you have up on the website? What else do you want to profile since we talked about some of the articles earlier?
Just like our training camp news articles, everything that's football related right now, it's paying the bills. Rotowire.com/free gets you that free 10-day trial. Check out our updated rankings. Jonathan Taylor moves down a little bit. Other guys will move up. A lot of negative buzz on Joe Burrow right now. He might move down. So check that all out. Rotowire.com/free. No credit cards required. Hopefully you like it though and want to subscribe after the 10-day trial's over.
Nice job. Look forward to having you back next week, Jeff.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.